Are you a South African musician trying to figure out what you should do next before you release your next single or project? Welcome to this episode where I plan on sharing my opinions on that. Cue the intro. What's up, it's your boy Skill from skillmusicsa.com and welcome to my channel where I share information to help my fellow South African musicians to improve on their music business. If this sounds interesting to you, please do consider subscribing and hit the bell, as I do have other videos I think you will find informative. In this video, I plan on sharing my opinions on how you should go about releasing your next single or project. This is a personal opinion, so it's not set in stone and may work for you and may not work for you, so take it with a pinch of salt and apply where you think you should apply. So the very first thing that you do is register your music with all the collecting organizations. There's three main organizations that do collect for you, and that is SAMRO for your performance royalties, SAMPRA for your needle time royalties, Capasso for the mechanical royalties. The fourth one I'd like to mention is RISA, but you don't necessarily have to be registered with RISA, but you need the ISRC code, so link the ISRC code to that particular song or songs in your project. Now, the next thing that you'd want to sort out is your distribution. Now, before you tell the whole world that your song is coming up, it is best to try upload your songs to all the streaming platforms. And if you're going to be doing physical distribution, to sort that out, there's different lead times for both, but the distribution online usually should be, give it 15 days or so. If you don't know how to get your music onto online platforms such as Apple Music, Spotify, there's distrokid. I've left an affiliate link in the description below, and I've also left a video that describes exactly how to go about uploading your music into distrokid. You really want to get your music onto platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, because your music will have the chance of being played not only in your country but overseas, especially if you are able to get onto some of the platforms' playlists. Now you've done two things already. You've registered all your music onto the online platforms to collect all the royalties. The second thing that you've done is upload your music so it is available for everyone around the world on online platforms, and maybe you've gone for physical route. I'm not going to include that now because most independent artists don't have the money for that, but you've gotten sorted with your distribution. Now the third thing to do is to create awareness for your music. Now, how do you go about getting awareness and getting people to go into the music? Well, there's different type of angles you can attack this at, but basically boils down to getting a marketing plan, and I'm briefly going to touch into several ways you can go about setting up your marketing plan, and I'll probably release more detailed videos in the future with regards to those. Now, the basic way these marketing plans work is basically a series of campaigns within the marketing plan. Now, depending on your budget, your time constraints, and your team, you can be doing several of these campaigns at the same time, one after each other, or all of them at the same time. Most musicians struggle to get money to help the other campaigns to work, so the first one I would suggest that you get in order is a financing or fundraising campaign. How does that typically work? Basically, you use a little bit of money to get more money, or alternative ways of adding value to get the money stream in. An example of a fundraising campaign would be something like a raffle ticket, where an example that I used was I made a 500 Rand take-a-lot voucher, I raffled it up, and I was able to get 4,500 Rand. So I made more money from the initial money. That's not the only way. You don't need money in to get money out. For example, there's a campaign I ran back in Port Elizabeth. For example, there was a campaign that I ran back in Port Elizabeth where I negotiated with the taxi driver, to allow me to give one passenger a free ride. I went on the bus line and I sold the raffle tickets to that bus line for 5 Rand, and then whoever won the raffle ticket, the bus driver would pull out the raffle, and whoever won that ticket would get free ride for an X amount of time. That way, everyone wants a free ride for a month to save money, and that way I was also to be able to raise funds. Another option that you can go for is a digital marketing campaign. A simple one that I put off was I Like Chicken. Basically, there's a single that I had been promoting for like several months where I'm eating chicken. I really like chicken in general, so it worked well with my personal persona and brand. Basically, I used the hashtag I Like Chicken, and I got a few of my mates to record videos of themselves eating chicken and just simply hashtagging I Like Chicken. With time, people started grabbing onto the concept of I Like Chicken, and by the time I actually dropped the single, everyone listened to the single called I Like Chicken. To date is my highest streaming song. Another example of a campaign that you can run is a radio or TV campaign. Radio campaigns are a little tricky depending on the radio station and the size of an artist, so I'll give you an example of how I went about a radio campaign. Basically, I was performing at a Grahamstown festival, and that provided me a route to take along at different radio stations and going in for interviews, and it also gave bigger story to why they should consider having me on their radio, and they'll play my song also on the radio station. I've left the link to the video that I've explained how you can go about submitting your songs to radio. It's very difficult to get playlisted on the bigger radio stations at home, so I suggest that you start with the local community radio stations and build it up to regional, and if you can make it even bigger, go for the commercial big radio stations such as 5FM, Metro FM. But the smaller the radio station, the easier it is to get played. And do not forget the radio station at universities, because those radio stations, it's easier to get contact with the people presenting on a personal basis. Those usually work a lot too. One of the easiest campaigns to get going off with is the direct mail campaign. It requires no money at all. It just requires time, where you collect all your contacts and you directly message them, where you send them information about the song in a way that is not spammy. So if you're going to implement a direct mail campaign, I suggest that it is more conversational, one-on-one based, and not a copy paste of a link, the image of your song, and then hope for the best and you spam it through your broadcast list. Most people do not open those links, so you have to have a methodical way of interacting with these people and getting them to click on the link and make it personal. These are not robots, especially if you're direct mailing. You have to build some kind of communication to get the person to listen and preferably give you an opinion of the song, because that actually means it was a genuine interaction and not just a spam and dump type of situation. Another comment I'd like to add on that is most direct mail campaigns, most people are implementing direct mail campaigns, but most of them, 80 to 90% of the ones that I have been on the receiving end of, have been literally a grab of the image work, a spam and dump of the link. Hello, my name is X, listen to my latest song, fire emoji, send. Those do not have good results unless the person actually knows. Collaborative campaigns are also another way to help build on your marketing plan. A collaborative campaign is basically where you work with another person in preferably a similar field or a field that can link to your field. An example of a collaborative marketing campaign that I've recently been with is with my homeboy Silas Beats, holla at Silas Beats. Basically, Silas gives audio books of information where I do videos, and some people find it easier to listen to someone, some people find it more informative and interesting to see and listen to someone. So we exchange links, and he sends a link, I send the link. That is kind of collaborative work. Another very good way of collaborative work is before the release, you work with other artists to try dip into those other artists' fields. That also works to get your name into other people, and it helps you get music out because you don't have to write as much. Another campaign that I am very fond of is the indirect and content marketing campaign. It's where you share information that has nothing to do with your music per se, but because you're sharing information, people find it very good to interact with you. So then you send them music, and that's how you get customers, not by directly selling. And then when you give them information, they generally try to give you some form of value back or a way to say thank you. A typical example is this video right here, where I'm sharing ideas that I have in terms of marketing, and I've honestly found this the most valuable way to get a form of income from my current hustle. Another useful campaign is a customer referring, not a referral, referring campaign. A way a customer referring campaign works is basically you tell your direct line of communication, you ask them to tell one other person to listen to this song. So basically, if I had a friend called Silas Beats, holla at Silas Beats again, and I asked him to tell one friend, he would tell one person directly close to him to listen to the song. So for my one mail, I was able to generate 2 listens. This helps a lot, especially if you ask the people to screen grab or share their song onto platforms such as social media, and then tag you or tag their friend, who would then tag you. This will generate some kind of organic hype on these social media platforms. There's a lot of campaigns that can be run, but those are the ones that I've implemented that actually have shown some form of results. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. And if you want to listen to more videos, as I will be going into more detail on these campaigns, I know this video was a long one, but I hope that you found the information informative and useful. And please, if you know a musician that would benefit from this information, send them to this video. I would really appreciate helping more people similar to you and similar to myself at one stage, as this information wasn't easily available back for us when I was starting this hustle. But I hope you found it informative, and that concludes this video. And until next time, Skilligan the Hooligan.